which one would you prefer? Customer service or a customer experience? And I challenge you to start asking yourself inside your own business, how can you be more like Apple? How can you create a customer experience more like Apple? And one of the things that I realized when I did this exercise in my business, that the first step towards creating a customer experience is to create an emotional connection with your clients. I had to learn how to engage with them better. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Property Management Podcast. And thank you so much for having me in your ears for today's training. Now, this training is a little bit different, and it's a training that I shared recently inside my PM Accelerate membership. And this is a membership that I created for property managers by property managers, and it is designed to be all the training and support that you'll ever need. If you like this training and you'd like to access more trainings like this, as well as growth training, as well as done for you social media, blogs, newsletters, workflows, and access to a whole heap of processes, systems, procedures, checklists, everything basically that you need to run your property management business in terms of admin, in terms of growth products, in terms of personal development, and done for you. It's all inside my PM Accelerate membership. And there is a link in the show notes, so go take a look. I am sure that you will absolutely love everything that's inside. Now, let's dive into this training session, and it's all about how to create a customer experience and turn your clients into raving fans. Now, I want to talk about defining the difference between customer service versus customer experience, because there is a difference between the two. And as we progress through this conversation, you will clearly see the difference between delivering a customer service and a customer experience. So what is customer service? This is basically the service and support you give your customers, whether in person or online. So what is a customer experience? This is the customer's perceptions and related feelings caused by the one-off and cumulative effect of interactions with a company, its employees, systems, channels, products, or services. And note the word feelings caused by. The difference between a customer service and a customer experience is the way that you make people feel. And I'm seduced by great customer experiences. And that might sound a little bit weird, but what I mean by that, and it's not my term, I pinched that term, I'm seduced by great customer experiences, off a TED Talk. Now, by that, I mean, if I walk into a clothing shop, for example, and the sales assistant ignores me, doesn't look up from their phone, they're not interested in me being there, I quickly turn on my heels and walk out despite having a pocket full of cash I was willing to spend in that store. However, if the sales assistant smiles at me, looks at me in the eye, hops up and asks, "Can I help you?" Well, I am all in, and of course, I want them to help me, and I will probably spend 5 times more than I would have spent in that store, all because of the way that they made me feel, which was like I was valued and my money was good enough to spend in their stores. So that is what I mean by being seduced by a great customer experience. And I'm sure if you think about your recent restaurant experiences, or the last time you went shopping for clothes, I am sure you can quickly identify what was a great customer experience and what was a really poor or bad customer experience. And we have them all the time. Now, there are some sobering statistics around small businesses in Australia. And in my opinion, I believe that customer service and customer experience is the key to business success, whether you're a real estate business or not. And 1 in 3 new small businesses in Australia fail in their first year of operation, and 2 out of 4 by the end of the second year, and 3 out of 4 by the 5th year. So only 1 in 4 businesses are actually surviving in Australia more than 5 years. And in property management, this is my opinion, I believe that our property owners give us 3 chances. If we make mistakes or stuff up 3 times, Generally, they are on Google looking for a new property manager to take over their properties. It's a 3 strikes, you're out rule. And the main reasons that a property owner leaves a property management company is, first of all, it's poor communication. Secondly, they leave because of maintenance, and that's either maintenance not being done quickly or maintenance costing too much money. We make mistakes with money. That's a big one. And usually that you only get one chance with that. And the constant team turnover is another one of the main reasons a property owner leaves. Let's talk about customer experience in our real estate businesses. How can we improve this? How can we make sure that we are not that 1 in 4 businesses that are closing their doors after 5 years? How can we make sure that our property owners aren't leaving us for reasons like poor communication, we're not handling maintenance properly, we're making mistakes with their money and have constant team turnover? How can we improve that customer experience for our clients? Now, in real estate, we all offer the same service. We do property management, we do rental appraisals, we sell properties, we lease properties, we fix the maintenance, we do entry condition reports, we manage tenants for our property owners. It's all pretty much the same. And we all pretty much advertise in the same way on the same online platforms like realestate.com and Domain. We all put up signboards, and some people even still advertise in newspapers. We all boosting our SEO. We're all on social media these days. We're all promoting our businesses in very similar ways. Okay, tell me, would you like to make maintenance your superpower? Well, you can. And you don't even need to tell anyone. It's all thanks to Tappy, a powerful property care software that takes all the pain, stress, and chaos out of dealing with maintenance and turns it into a predictable process that is reliable and frictionless, where every maintenance process is a smooth experience for everyone, with value adds that your owners and tenants will absolutely love. And it seamlessly integrates with your property management software too. And here's the bonus, it can actually help grow your business as well. And if you're rolling your eyes at me right now and thinking, yeah, right, I've heard all this before, then do yourself a favor and book in for a demo at tappy.com.au. Mention that property mum and receive 1 month free on Tappy. So how can we be different? How can we stand out from all of that noise and all of the other competitors in our marketplaces that are all offering the same services, and they're all promoting themselves in the same ways? And for me, that comes down to one very simple thing, and it's the customer experience that they get. And the reason that customer experience has become such a big thing and a big part of my business is because, and I'll share a little story with you now. A few years ago, I had a MacBook. I love my MacBooks. I love my Apple products. And I'm not being sponsored here. And I had my MacBook crashed. And inside my MacBook was 60,000 words of the first draft of my fiction story. And being my personality type, I had no backup for it. So I went to a few local IT specialists and asked them, could you help me? I was in a panic. I was stressed. I was in tears. I needed to get my draft of my novel out of that MacBook. They couldn't help me, but they recommended that I went into an Apple shop. And I wasn't convinced. Apple is a big store. Surely I was, just going to be another number in there. It was a bit of a trudge into Brisbane City from where I live. Had to pay for parking, made all these excuses, and I had preempted a really bad experience going into the Apple shop. But when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised. And the only way that I can describe it is that I felt like I was being embraced by a family member in a really warm hug. I felt welcomed. I felt understood. I felt like I was in the right place. Hallelujah. They fixed my MacBook. I got my first draft of my novel back. And when I walked out of there, I knew that I would be back into their shop. And that is because they have a core value and a core belief And it's based on a saying by a lady called Maya Angelou. And it is, people don't remember what you said to them, but they remember how you made them feel. And that was certainly my experience walking into the Apple shop, which is crazy because obviously Apple is one of the largest brands worldwide. It's in over 32 different countries. They make billions of dollars every year. They've got over 40,000 employees, and yet little old me in downtown Brisbane's Apple store felt really important and felt amazing after walking out of their store. It is actually mind-blowing that they could make me feel like that. But that, again, was not a coincidence. This is all by design, and it's all part of Apple's customer experience. So let me share a couple of Apple's secrets with you, because I went on a bit of a stalking rampage after that experience, and it actually made me think, how can I make my business more like Apple's? So the name Apple is actually an acronym for the type of customer service that they want to deliver. The A stands for approach with a warm welcome. P stands for probe politely to understand the client's needs. The second P, present a solution for the customer to take home today. The L, listen and resolve issues or concerns. And the E, end with a fond farewell and an invitation to return. And that is the Apple customer experience in a nutshell. And that is the exact experience I had in that Apple shop. And it all started with Steve Jobs, or the late Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. And he believed that you've got to start with a customer experience and work back toward the technology, not the other way around. Let me read that to you again. You've got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology, not the other way around. And in property management, you've got to start with the customer experience and then work backwards towards the new management, not the other way around. How do you want your new management or your new client to feel from the minute they inquire about business? How do they want to feel? You want to make them feel welcome, like that they belong in your business. So it's really important to start thinking about all those little touch points that you have with your client, with your new management client, not worrying about the business, the service that you're offering. It's about the experience that your client has. So in property management, that looks like you've got to start with the customer experience and then work back towards the new management and not the other way around. So for each little touch points that you have with a new client, you want to make sure that you're creating an experience for them. You want to think about in that experience how you want to make them feel. So for example, you want to make them feel like they matter, like that they belong and that they are in the right place. And most importantly, you want to make them feel like they can trust you and their property is going to be in good hands. Apple also believed that customer experience starts at the top of an organization. It starts with the business owners, the team leaders, and the senior property managers. They also realized a simple fact about all human beings. And that was the top 3 things that all humans crave is safety, belonging, and mattering. Because safety, belonging, and mattering equals trust. And of course, once people trust you, they'll want to do business with you. If you are anything like me, you think you know your rent roll numbers. Well, I thought I did until I had a rent roll health check, and I was quite literally shocked. The money I was leaving on the table was astounding. And this is not something that I'm proud to admit. There were missed management fees, let fees, advertising, and lease renewal fees not being charged, and properties even without bonds. And all of this was happening despite monthly audits being conducted in my business. So how did I uncover all these gaps in my valuable income? Well, I had a rent roll due diligence from my good friend Tazi, aka the Rent Roll Queen and founder of the Tazi Way, a specialist in rent roll due diligence, business valuation, and management rights. The Tazi Way is the innovative force driving the real estate industry. With 25 years of business and real estate acumen, they find gaps and risks in your agency to find undiscovered value. If you'd like to book your business in for a rent roll due diligence, head to the link in the show notes and mention That Property Mum for a 10% discount. There's been so much talk of stress, overwhelm, and burnout in property management lately. Do you want to know how I overcame all of that? Yes, I hit rock bottom multiple times, but I got myself a virtual assistant. Actually, not just one, but 3. But I didn't just get any VA, I got a PMVA. What are they? Well, they are the most well-trained in the business. And not only that, you also have a backup VA, so that essentially your business is never without admin support ever again. And my health, time, and business has never looked back. Your PMVA can take care of tasks like rent arrears, lease preparation and renewals, maintenance follow-up, routine inspection bookings, data entry, audits, prospecting, inbox management, and so much more. And the best part of implementing a PMVA in my business was that it freed up my time and my team's time to take care of important things like customer service. What makes me feel so safe is that PMVA is owned by Tiffany Botel, both here and in the Philippines, making my data secure and giving me more control over the VA arrangement. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your discovery call with Lady Boss Tiff. The third thing that Apple believes as part of their customer experience is that your team needs to buy into the customer experience. It's all well and good saying you want to create a customer experience as a business owner, but if you don't have your team who are on the ground delivering that customer experience to your clients, there will be no customer experience. And the way you get your team to buy into this customer experience is by sharing your company vision, your mission, your core values, and your culture with them. So let's talk about, and when we're talking about your team buying into it, you as property managers also need to buy in to wanting to deliver a great customer experience. Now you guys, and I get it, you guys are juggling so many different tasks each day. You are sometimes overloaded with paperwork and administration. And then, of course, let's not forget, a lot of you are working mums, you're juggling children, you're juggling groceries and getting, the house cleaning and organized. It is a lot. But ultimately, property managers are the backbones of real estate businesses. And without you buying into that experience and you being on board with the customer experience, there will be no customer experience. The fourth thing that Apple believed when it comes to delivering a customer experience is that you need to put yourself in your client's shoes. What would you like to experience if the shoe was on the other foot? How would you like to be addressed on the phone? How would you like to be treated when moving into a property? How would you like to be responded to if your rental income wasn't paid on time? And I'm going to dive into a couple of the ways that we can improve and some tips for you guys to be able to deliver better team member onboarding experience when you've got new people coming into your business. I'm going to also dive into some tenant customer experience and some owner customer experience as well. And I'm going to share some systems, processes, procedures, and a little bit, and some tech and software as well. So which one, before we move on, which one would you prefer? Customer service or a customer experience? And I challenge you to start asking yourself inside your own business, how can you be more like Apple? How can you create a customer experience more like Apple? And one of the things that I realized when I did this exercise in my business, that the first step towards creating a customer experience is to create an emotional connection with your clients. I had to learn how to engage with them better. And I had to ask myself that question, how do I want to make them feel? I also realized that I had to be different from my competition. I had to stand out. So why would someone want to do business with me instead of my competitors? And the third thing that I realized was I had to get consistent. I had to deliver a consistent and predictable experience for my clients, because that creates confidence, leads to trust, which leads to loyalty. And let me repeat that again. A consistent and predictable experience creates confidence, which leads to trust, which leads to loyal clients. So let's dive into some specifics of how you can start delivering a better customer experience in your own business. The customer experiences should include: how are your phones being answered? What is your email tone of voice? What support do you offer in conflict or dispute situations in your team? What do you offer, or how are you different from your competitors? And what does your marketing collateral look like and promise? So let's talk about if we're onboarding a new team member into your company, because remember, your team needs to buy into delivering a great customer experience. And what a better way to set them up for delivering great customer experience to our clients than by giving them a great experience as they come on board into our business. There's some things that I'm going to share with you that I do inside my own business. Send them a congratulations message, a video message from the owners or the directors. You could have a welcome bunch of flowers, bottle of wine, or some chocolates. Have a really good induction process where they're introduced to everyone. They're shown the amenities, explained the vision, the mission, the values of the business. You could also have some training videos set up, which will include your basic office opening and closing procedures, but also it'll include some software training and some of your process and procedures training as well. And you should also have a training schedule so that they know when to do their training, and a checklist for each task as they get competent. Don't expect them to know all the tasks all at once. Give them some time to learn and get skilled in each task, and then check them off and move them on to the next task. When you've got your team members cranking, some other things that you can do to deliver and keep the great experience inside your team going is offering some sort of monthly performance reviews, having regular team lunches or breakfasts and catch-ups, put on a quarterly event for your team, have some ongoing training and personal development, and encourage people to invest in growing and training themselves, because if they are doing that, they're going to bring that into your businesses as well. And if you're a property manager listening, don't feel guilty about spending time doing training and personal development. It's really important for your future growth and success. And don't forget to celebrate wins and successes. We often don't stop and smell the roses, but we all need to start doing that. Now let's move into a new tenant customer experience. So one of the things that I do, I have a sign up welcome video for my tenants, rather than sitting them down and going through, in person, a really long list, booklet of things to do. I bring them into our business. We welcome them. We put them in the boardroom. We get them a coffee, tea, water. We get them to watch the sign up video. They tick off that they understand everything there. Then once they've finished, we then sit down with them. We ask if they've got questions. We hand over the keys in a move-in gift box, which is another thing you could do as tenant move-in gifts, which just has really simple things like toilet paper, tea, coffee, a couple of chocolates, some things that they will need when a cleaning cloth, some things that they will need when they move into the property. It doesn't have to be expensive or extravagant. Another thing we do is we like to make sure that there's an introduction to their property manager. If it's leasing or BDM that signed them up, we like to make sure that there is some sort of an introduction across to the property manager. And this could be in video or in person. Also like to have clear communication around major things like rent arrears, maintenance, lease renewals, and don't assume that they know everything about renting, because they may have rented before, but they've never rented in your agency before. And once you've got tenants in your business, some things that you can do to keep that great experience going is make sure you're regularly communicating and checking in with your tenants. You could do a settling in call 1 week after they've moved into the property. You can do a thank you call or an email after a great routine inspection. These little touch points will go a long way when it comes to the tenant vacating the property. They will remember that nice experience that you've given them when things are going well. And if things aren't going well by the end of the vacate, you've set up a great relationship with them previously. I also recommend educational emails on rental law changes or changes to your systems and processes. Keep educating your tenants where you can. And don't forget to offer some empathy in challenging times. If they've lost their job and they can't pay their rent, how can you help them, help them find some, or at least present some solutions for them in trying and difficult times. Now let's move on to if we've got a new property owner coming into our business, what does that customer experience look like for them? And the first thing I want you to consider is in your own business is who is handling that inquiry and how quickly is it being responded to? How do you contact them? What do you send them? Do you send them a discovery email? Do you pick up the phone and call them? Do you do a free appraisal? Is that going to be online or in person? And do you have a welcome email? Just thinking about all the steps that you need. Is there an onboarding email with their next steps? And basically, I like to think of it as answering all the questions for them as they're coming into your business so that they don't have to ask you any questions. You've already been on the front foot and answered everything. You also want to make sure that you only have one point of contact with the new property owner. So who are they dealing with? Is there a BDM? Is there a leasing involved? Or do they go directly to the property manager? You want one point of contact. This is really super important when you're onboarding a new property owner. And then you want to also make sure you've got it clear when is it handed over to the PM and how does that look? Do you have a video introduction? Is it an email? And are you going to do something personal and fun, or is it going to be formal and serious? And is there a phone call from the PM at what point? At what point does the PM pick up the phone and call them? Having all this clear, make sure that there is a clear process for the entire team to follow. Everybody knows what to expect and nothing gets missed. Also want to make sure you build in a follow-up with your new property owner, because this is where you ask for that review. This is where you have that referral conversation. And is that at 1 week or at 1 month? And once you've got your property owners, a couple of things that you can do to continue to enhance that customer experience. You want to constantly communicate during the leasing process. One thing that I do with my clients is we do Friday fives. We pick up the phone and call 5 owners on a Friday, and there's no problems, there's no issues. It's just to create an engagement and a connection with them. We send birthday or anniversary cards. We do annual video routine inspections, and we constantly are doing educational trainings or workshops to investor education evenings with property market updates as well. You could also just do something simple like sending a monthly newsletter. Blogs and social content is a really good way to keep the conversations and the education with your property owners going. I would recommend also that you survey at least annually your clients and implement and fix any issues raised. And you want to be constantly, again, educating them on your own company policies and processes. And make sure you've got a clear contact person if there is any issues arising. And that is how you start creating your raving fans inside your business. Again, it's not about the service you offer. Most agencies offer the same as you. It's how you made them feel during the onboarding experience, during the management experience, and even during that vacate or terminating management experience. Remember, don't burn your bridges. Sometimes an owner goes to a new management, which hurts, a new agency, and that hurts. But the grass sometimes isn't greener. And if you haven't burnt that bridge, there is an opportunity for them to come back to you if it doesn't work out with the other agency. And the key to creating a great customer experience is that you need to develop that trust. They need to trust us, our clients and our team members need to trust us. And then once they trust us, they become loyal to us. But the trust journey never ends. You've got to continue to show up for your clients. So let me just quickly, before I wrap up this episode, I just want to share a couple of ways that creating a customer experience inside my own business changed my business in a real value kind of way. So the first thing it did was it allowed my team to feel good about delivering a great customer experience. It reduced the number of complaints management had to deal with. It streamlined my business so everybody knew what was their role and when it occurred. It generated a great source of referral business, and it also provided a stream of reviews, and I've got over 350 currently reviews on Google at the moment. So I encourage you all to take some time out and think about how you can be more like Apple, how you can deliver a great customer experience in your business. We've talked about, I've shared some tips with you. I've shared some strategies with you. And we've covered what a great customer experience has contributed to my business. So go ahead, go start creating that great customer experience. Property inspections, entries, exits, incomings, outgoings, routine inspections, whatever you call them, you have to do them. And I remember when I first started as a property manager, you had to handwrite the reports and take notes on a digital camera, then upload the photo memory card to your computer and hope and pray that they weren't all blurry or your computer had enough memory to store them. But gone are those days, thanks to Inspection Express. Now, Inspection Express is not only the number one tool used by leading property managers across Australia and New Zealand, but the leader in groundbreaking new tech in the industry with the launch of 360-degree virtual tours. Now, virtual tours is upping the ante, giving landlords, owners and directors unparalleled 360-degree virtual access to their properties. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your free demo with Inspection Express. If you love the Property Management Podcast, you've got to check out the PM Collective, hosted by my friend, Ashley Goodchild. She discusses things like how to have awkward conversations about pay rises, yes please, how to raise the bar in property management, and why so many people just seem to fall into the industry. You've got to love stories like that. She'll leave you with great advice, actionable steps to take, and let you know that you're not alone in any of the challenges that you face. So be sure to check out the PM Collective wherever you get your podcasts. Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.